Hello, everyone. Welcome back to My Autism, My Voice, Episode 1, Part B. In the last video that we did called My Autism, My Voice, My Story, I discussed a little bit about myself. My name again is Kerry Magro, and I discussed my life on the autism spectrum a little bit. When I was 4, I was first diagnosed with autism, and I discussed my story growing up and then just what I'm doing today as a college graduate and now as a grad student at Seton Hall University. So, for this episode, we will be discussing your questions based on the comment section of the previous video. So, here we go, and I hope we get a lot of feedback from you guys after this video, too. So, thanks, guys, so much. The first question comes from Emily Condes, who asks, is the character portrayed by Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man a representation of all those afflicted with autism? And I've actually heard this, a similar question such as this, using Rain Man as a representation in the past. Many people believe, who are unaware, that Rain Man is pretty much the highlight and the center of what autism is and what autism individuals are. And that couldn't be any farther from the truth. I think from society today, one of the things we're learning so much about is that autism is such a wide spectrum. There are people who could be similar to what Rain Man was in the 1988 movie. But in many aspects, there are people who are high functioning, who have speech but have difficulty in different areas, to people who have low functioning autism, who might not have any verbal skills. And there are just so many different people on the spectrum and so many different diagnoses that a representation I don't think is really that easy to find, and I don't think it will be able to be found because autism is such a wide spectrum. So I hope that answers the question, Emily. Thank you so much for your question. The next question is from Carol Kusum, who asks, what is personally the hardest thing to handle about being autistic? And I guess for me, the hardest thing to deal with about being autistic is probably, and this is a very hard question to answer because I think of myself as an autistic individual, so I don't know if a certain tendency is going to be portrayed as autistic and what's not supposed to be portrayed as autistic. But I would say, just based on my diagnosis and some of the difficulties I've dealt with, I would say probably the biggest thing is public speaking. And I know you guys are watching the video today thinking, well, he's doing these videos, he's public speaking in front of individuals on the web, so how could this be how could this be possible? And the truth is, I had really bad stage fright growing up. I especially early on, I had difficulty pronouncing words, slurring my speech a little bit, and just shaking and going through all these difficulties. But today, I must admit that I actually love theater arts. I love drama. I love acting. And I've actually done a few plays in high school where I've actually been the male lead. So it was definitely a process, but I think public speaking was one of the harder things, just based on the difficulties that occurred from my diagnosis. So thank you, Carol, for that question. And the final question I'm going to leave with you today is from Balji Ragapolan. And she asks, as a parent, I'm always anxious when my child is going to talk. In autism with various severities, how do we figure out when a child will talk or talk at all? And from this question, it's very difficult to answer a question such as this because there is individuals with autism who, as soon as they're diagnosed, have perfect speech. Also, at the same time, someone can be diagnosed with autism when they're very young, or they could not be diagnosed for a long time and be diagnosed as an adult, and etc. and so forth. But focused on the children, I think the one important thing to remember is that early intervention is the key in regards to whether or not your child has a little speech or more speech. And it's really something you need to focus on. You need to get the diagnosis as soon as you can. And then you just need to have an action plan of what you what steps you need to do to make sure that your son or daughter gets the best possible accommodations needed um, to live a fully successful life. And those are the most important things. So it really depends. It's some children will be able to speak faster than others, and some won't. It's just how wide the autism spectrum is. So I was able to speak when I was 4. When I was 2.5, I had difficulty speaking, but as I got a little bit older, speech became something that was very easy for me, and it was more just the whole social interaction thing. So hopefully that answers the question. Those 3 questions. Thank you guys so much for your questions, and hopefully I'll be able to answer more. That's where I'll be leaving off for today. And I hope you guys are looking forward to more videos in the future. So thanks guys so much, and have a great day.